Well, you found your way to daily strength. Good for you. I guess we need to know that it's not just a coincidence, but that God has something in mind for you here today. So let's talk about what goes on in your heart. From Matthew 15:8, where Jesus reproved the good people around him by saying, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." There we were, sitting in the middle of a statewide meeting for ministry leaders when the pastor of a large church leaned over and said to me, "You know, Joe, your hair is too long for you to be able to sing in my choir." Well, actually, there were probably better reasons that I couldn't sing in his church choir, but I just smiled and said, "Oh, really?" The guy who in so many words told me to get a haircut was a household name in our denomination, nationally sought after as a preacher, and was what every aspiring minister hoped he could become. So given how strict he was, you can imagine how shocked I was to hear that he had abandoned his church and family to move in with the woman he had been counseling. Now, I really want to be careful not to sound holier than thou, but there is an important lesson here. If we're not careful, we can conform to a bunch of rules that keep us looking good on the outside while ignoring the condition of our hearts. It's like buying good-looking peaches, only to find out when you cut them open that they're bad on the inside. Well, Jesus confronted this "we're okay because we keep our rules" attitude when the Pharisees pointed out that the disciples were not washing their hands before they ate. It's not like the Pharisees were worried about any kind of sanitary issue. No, they had their tunics in a twist because the disciples were breaking a tradition. In other words, not following their rules. I'm sure you could have heard a pin drop when Jesus stopped them cold by saying to these keepers of the man-made rules, "You hypocrites! Isaiah was right," Jesus said, when he prophesied about you. "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." Wow, what a gut-wrenching indictment. So in light of Jesus' strong words on this point, how do we know when our hearts are far from God? Well, one of the ways we know is when we see our Christianity in terms of the externals. But authentic Christianity is not about the right haircut, being at church every time the doors are opened, serving as an elder, or using all of the Christianese lingo known to man. You can be all cleaned up on the outside while pride, jealousy, greed, and a dozen other internal demons happily feast on your heart. Let's remember that the Bible says that man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. You see, Jesus longs to have a real heart-to-heart connection with us that expresses our love to him in heartfelt acts of devotion, instead of just living a life of dutifully keeping all the rules. As Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians 13:3, "If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to flames, but have not love, I have gained nothing." Well, my pastor friend found out that he ended up with nothing when his heart was far from God. No ministry, no family, no devoted relationship to God. Fortunately, the Spirit of God called him back, and he repented and ended up reconciling with his wife. And he would be the first to tell you that a true love for Christ cannot be replaced by a squeaky clean record of conduct according to the rules. When we let the rules rule, our faith is reduced to something like grocery shopping. It's just another thing on our list of things to do. So the choice is yours. Your life can be all about the burdensome duties of your Christianity, or about the blessings of a heart that is devoted to Jesus. And by the way, if your heart belongs to Jesus, the rules will take care of themselves.